to go from 0 to 7 figures in 6 years, that's special, man. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could talk through about building a successful career in life insurance sales, going from 0 to 7 figures in 6 years, which most never do, most would love to do. You say anybody can do it if they work hard enough, which is totally true. What are the factors that keep most agents from ever getting to that point? Hey, welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. I got a special guest. He's been on numerous times, and I keep bringing him back because he always drops gold. Today, I want to talk about building a successful career in life insurance sales because this dude has done it as well as anybody I know. Please welcome back Darin Stubbs.
Thank you, Cody. Pleasure to be here today. Appreciate your kind words. Glad to be back on the podcast.
I love it, man. I appreciate you. We've got a chance to hang out a lot the last year. You're an incredible individual. A big heart, super driven, cares a lot about helping people make it in this business. And so I kind of was wanting to bounce some ideas off you today about just how to build a successful career, the do's and don'ts, the rights and wrongs, the importance of coaching and mentorship and investing in your business, all the things that you do really well. I mean, you make a significant income. Did you think you'd be making this kind of money that you're making today if you look back?
I knew it was on the table. I knew it was there because, and thank you again for the kind words. I think the same about you, man. You're amazing, and your gifts are incredible. And I love how generous you are with your gifts, trying to help and coach everyone that's willing to sit down and listen. So first off, I want to congratulate everyone that's listening to this, because that is a critical step to being successful in any business. Mentorship, coaching, a willingness to surrender and be humble and coachable. And this guy right here, Cody Askins,
thanks, bro.
One of the very best in any industry. But you and I were kind of kicking around the idea of what does it take and how does it look and can you really make big money? And I think one of the things that I really like to focus on was one of those real critical nuggets from Steve Covey's book, 7 Highly Effective Habits. And that is to begin with the end in mind.
I like it.
And, synergize and, really take a look. So did I think that I would make $1 million a year when I started with Symmetry Financial 6.5 years ago? Yeah, I knew it was in my future. I did it my 6th calendar year. In fact, it's tax season. So, wow. 7-figure income earner last year, going to knock out 7 figures this year.
Let's go.
It's not that I'm so great. I mean, I appreciate the compliments, but the truth is, Cody, anyone who has a willingness to do the work, be humble, be coachable, be committed, just decide that they're going to do it. And then here's the critical part. If you're watching this is not a 3 to 5 day deal or a 3 to 5 week or 3 to 5 months. It's 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 years. So in context, what you and I were talking about before we went live, what do a lot of people do with 3 to 5 or 6 years of their life, especially when you're younger? I was told to go to school, so I went to college. I majored in finance and economics. Imagine that, math geek. Started my career at Waddell & Reed as a stockbroker and financial advisor. And geez, I'm old, but June of 1987. And so, you contrast going to college to what you can do in this type of business. And there's like, well, there's a wait a minute moment here. It's like, oh, time out. Let me call a timeout. And let's just think about that. And I think that's where you and I were talking about before we went live. So if you want to kick it around from there, we can.
Yeah.
Dig into it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, to go from 0 to 7 figures in 6 years, I'm just curious, by the way, those that are watching, help me out. If you're like, man, I would love to go from 0 to Darin Stubbs in 6 years, put in the comments, me, right? This isn't live, so you can't put me while we're hanging out, but later when you watch this, I would love for you to do that because that's special, man. There's a lot of things that you could talk through about building a successful career in life insurance sales, going from 0 to 7 figures in 6 years, which most never do, most would love to do. You say anybody can do it if they work hard enough, which is totally true.
Sure.
But what are the factors that keep most agents from ever getting to that point?
Wow, that's a really good question. And I think I'm going to have to go back to the beginning with mindset. If you don't have the mindset that you're going to dig in for 3 to 5 years, because that's what it takes. Now, there are those anomalies of people that come in, right out the gate, but that's the exception, not the rule. And maybe I'm on the higher end of that, and I appreciate the compliments, but I also came to the industry with decades of business acumen. I'd already run a company. I'd already made millions of dollars before. So maybe my journey was a little bit shorter, but then again, I started at 51 years old. I'll be turning 58 this July, which suddenly 58 is looking very sexy, by the way.
Let's go.
Not old.
Let's go.
Good, And as I'm looking at pictures of my grandchildren here right next to my desk, and
dude, you do not look almost 70.
Shut up, man. 70. Come on, you just tacked on 12. Easy, kid. Come on now, brother. Come on, Cody. Be nice to brother Darin. But I think that it's important for people to realize that there's two sides to the industry. Okay, there's the production side. Yeah. I like to teach people that's the right now money. Well, Darin, I need to make money right now. Okay, well, great. You need to learn how to produce. You need to find, like, I usually, because I love to cook. I'm an excellent cook, and I just went to my favorite sushi bar for dinner last night. Melly and I went. Shige, he's a master sushi chef, Japanese guy. Everyone says, oh, don't buy sushi in a landlocked state. Well, I live in Boise, Idaho. They fly the fish in every freaking day. So it's just as fresh as any place else. But I got to thinking about what it takes to become a master sushi chef. Well, in Japan, you might make rice for 5 years in the back and never even see or talk to a customer. 5 years making rice.
Wow.
And then maybe you cut some vegetables. You certainly don't touch a knife, touch fish, and go out and see customers for years to apprentice to become a master sushi chef. Or let's think about going to law school. Well, that's 4 years of undergrad, 3 years of grad school. Well, let's think about becoming a physician. 4 years of undergrad, 4 years of law school, 4 years of residency. And then if you specialize, maybe a couple more years of fellowship. That's 12 years of college.
Wow.
Well, I want to become an attorney. Great. 4 years undergrad, 3 years law school. We said that one already. Chiropractor. Pick something. Well, there's a lot of people getting these college degrees today, and I'm not knocking formal education. I'm just state that for the record, okay?
Yeah.
But a lot of people believe, and in my opinion, it's a false belief. It's a false narrative that if you just have a college degree, you're going to make, God's just going to bless you with all this money. You're going to walk out to the money tree and just pick up money every morning. And that is straight up a lie, okay? Unless you're going to become an engineer, a CPA, a physician, an attorney. For the love of God, please. I want my doctor to go to whatever education it takes. And he did, of course. Yeah. But, I see these people with degrees in international business with a minor in entrepreneurship from a college professor who's never run a business.
True.
Oh, okay. Now, great. These people can do incredible PowerPoints. They can make spreadsheets, sing symphonies on Excel spreadsheets. They got really killer skills. But when it comes down to the day-to-day of operating a real business, a lot of those people apply for jobs with me, and they leave me wanting, because I'm thinking, wow, you spent 6 years and 140 grand, and you are scared to death to actually do what it takes to make money in the real world. So I think from what you and I talked about earlier, that's kind of the context of where this podcast is going to kind of go for a bit. Of course, you guide it, but I believe that, anyone can come in and start making money. I just had one of my new agents, Sierra is her name. She's had her license for 45 days. Wow. She wrote $17,700 the first 30 days. And the way our bonus system works currently, I just approved her bonus for $6,337 bonus. $6,337 bonus. That doesn't count the commissions the carriers pay her for writing $17,000 in business. She's 28 years old, Cody.
Wow.
Now you do the math. Let's just round it down to 15,000. Now, it was actually more than 15,000. It's probably 20, but let's just come down to 15,000. Well, how many people in America make, or in the world, but let's just go with America, make 15 grand a month? What percentage? Top 2% maybe? Maybe. So I taught a 28-year-old, my agency, me, my guys, the Symmetry system, not Darin completely. I want to give credit where credit is due, the system. A 28-year-old in the first 30 days to deposit 15 grand. Now, that's pretty special.
That is special.
And what I can tell you about this individual, she's humble, she's coachable, teachable, trainable. She surrendered to the process, and then she followed instructions. See, in the beginning, first you follow, then you lead. That's that production side of the business. The other side of the business is what we're doing now, coaching, mentoring, and training. Well, that takes time. If you're a brand new agent, what does your pipeline look like, Cody? How many deals do you have in your pipeline? Nothing. How many agents do you have in your pipeline?
Nothing.
So what are your overrides and residuals?
Nothing.
So it's about managing that expectation. Well, I want to make 50 grand a month. Well, great. In fact, we have a gal, Ashley Richards. She's a single mom, early 30s. This is her third month in a row writing over 100,000 in personal production. This is her third month in a row. Now that woman works like a crazy person, but that's what she's choosing to do. She wanted to see if she could do it. Imagining depositing 50, 60, 70, 80 grand a month, and you've only been a part-time agent, and something clicked inside here or in here, and now she's going full-time, and she's putting up monster numbers. So if you begin with the end in mind, what's great about most agencies is they have a business plan. Like we have a business plan, a comp plan, a leadership development program. All that stuff's already been written and taken care of. So what are the variables? Well, you. What are you going to do? Changing that mindset. You guys, you had me give the CEO mindset speech more times than I want to.
Yeah.
But it comes down to mindset.
It's such a good speech, by the way. Like Darin, if you guys ever get a chance to hear that, okay, webinar, you hang out with him, we're at an event together, whatever. He gives the CEO mindset talk better than anybody I've ever heard. Like it's so freaking good. Now he's given it so many times. It's like second nature. He's said it till he's blue in the face and he's tired of talking about it. However,
yeah, I'm like, Cody, I'm not giving that speech for you anymore.
Yeah, he did. I'm like, all right, Darin, I'm with you.
I can talk about other things besides that one, but it's a good one because oftentimes as mentors and coaches, we're also trying to relate to the newest person, right? When you say we're trying to help the newest person. And when we say new, we don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't care how old you are.
That's a good point.
Because a lot of guys my age in their 50s have a hard head. They got their ego in the way and they won't surrender. I didn't say submit. Remember that part of my talk where I added in the difference between surrender and submit? What does a job make you do, Cody? Surrender or submit?
Yeah, surrender.
No, submit. You do what I say. I am the boss. You show up when I say it. Well, I want to go on vacation. Nope, you're working this weekend. Well, it's my granddaughter's t-ball game. Nope, you can't leave. You must do what I say because I am the boss. Now, people like Cody, like me, and many of you watching this, we're entrepreneurs. I'm unemployable. I'd be the worst employee. Oh my God, and so would you, Cody. And so would you watching this.
I would not be good.
Yeah, so that's our goal, is to help you to become unemployable because you believe enough in yourself. People say, well, Darin, I need security. Well, let me tell you something. You know what my security is, Cody? When I'm shaving in the morning, the guy in the mirror looking back at me. That's my security blanket.
Yeah.
So ladies, when you're doing that thing in the morning, you putting the mascara on, us guys would poke our eyeball out. That's your security looking back at you. You don't need a paycheck. You're surrendering to a piece of cheese every 2 weeks and you're giving up all the opportunity for your life. Well, why would you want to do that? So I look at a lot of young people who go to school. I have friends, Cody, that own HVAC contracting businesses. One of my buddies owns a garage door company. Garage doors, either new construction or it broke or whatever, it wears out. They make millions and it's trades. They're not college graduates. You know what they are though? Same as you and me, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Business owners. And if you look at that Robert Kiyosaki cash flow quadrant thing we all talk about, where's all the money really made? Non-quadrant one, that's where all the people are. Employees. The 40 for 40 plan, 40 hours a week, 40 years of life, you get to age 65, you're dead, broke, or working at Walmart. That's a no for Darin. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, quadrant two. What is quadrant two? Well, that's self-employed. That's where you own your own company. Like you're the one-man chiropractor. You're the one-woman dentist. Oh, speaking of, I have a dentist a friend of mine who crashed and hurt his hand on a mountain bike. Well, if you're a dentist and you have a cast on your hand, can you drill, fill, and bill? Probably not. So business owner like Coney. Coney owns a very successful business. Teams of people making money. And then, of course, investors. The fourth one, that's where your money makes you money. So what's great about the insurance industry, what I think is so great, is you can start in box one, because I had a job before, like 30 years ago when I first got out of college. Since then, I've been self-employed, which is box two. And that's kind of where starting your own agency starts. You move down to self-employment. You might be a one-person agency, just you. Maybe part-time, maybe full-time producing. But then when you start to recruit, well, now you're moving over to box three. And then after a time, when you have enough clients and you've helped enough people, let me repeat that. When you have helped enough people on the client side and on the agent mentor side, well, then you move down to box four because now the income comes in whether or not you're there. So it's just a process and it just takes a few years to make that happen.
Yes. Good. So good. And what would you say? Okay, let's talk about the production side, right? Because there's just a lot of agents that would love to get better at that. Let's say they're in their first 90 days.
Which is the hardest part, by the way.
True. So true.
Very hard. The first 30, 60, 90 days is brutal.
Yeah, they're struggling to get in front of people. Maybe it's them and their ego because they had success before. Maybe their upline's terrible. Maybe they're lazy. I don't know. What do you think about and what advice would you give when you think about and talk to like agents still in their first several months as you're helping them get up to speed?
That's an excellent question. And I would say one word: focus. You see, there's so many things that we offer. Squirrel, 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 squirrel. I want to do an IUL. How'd you do that $4 million annuity? You're all over the place. It's like, well, let's go back to cooking. So I literally coach my people and say, well, before you become a master sushi chef, I need to teach you how to make a peanut butter sandwich. What's the elements of peanut butter sandwich? A knife, jar of peanut butter, and some bread. That's like doing a basic term policy. Well, at least now you can feed yourself and your family, pay your bills. Well, the next step would be, okay, well, now I'm going to teach you peanut butter and jelly. Well, that'd be like a term policy. Maybe you added on some return of premium, or maybe you added on a little accidental death or something. Well, then it's peanut butter with 4 kinds of jelly and 3 kinds of bread. Well, now we're starting to complex things. Okay, well, now you have choices from 4 different carriers. Let's say that this carrier will take a type 2 diabetic that was diagnosed with diabetes before age 50, but this one won't. They're going to automatically deny it. So it's just kind of a step-by-step thing. But I would say if you can just start out with some basics, because maybe you're in the Medicare space. I am not. I know about this much about Medicare. And everybody hanging around with all the wonderful Medicare people in the Cody Askins team, I just sit there and go, wow, maybe I should take a look at that. And then I remind myself, what's that word I just said to you a minute ago? Focus.
Yep.
You see, my focus is continuing to do what I'm doing. You know, everyone says multiple income streams, and that's true. Except for, is your first income stream on autopilot first?
It's good. That's so good.
Diversion equals delusion.
Yeah.
If you're spinning so many plates because you got 5 businesses running, or you're trying to be the Medicare goddess, and you're trying to be the IUL god, and you're trying to be the annuity god, well, you're not going to make any money because you're diverted. Therefore, you're diluted. Therefore, nothing's working well, especially in the beginning.
Yes.
So to your point, the first 30, 60, 90 days, hey, learn how to do 1 or 2 things really well.
Yeah.
And if you're in the activity of producing, what's going to happen is you're going to come to a client that needs an IUL. Well, do a complete telephone interview, reach to your mentor, and then start to learn. Earn while you learn. Nothing wrong with that. Think about college. How many years do most people, you know what the average number of years to get a 4-year degree is now in the United States of America? 6 years.
Wow.
To get a 4-year degree. 77% of the people who graduate from school don't even get a job or career that has anything to do with what they went to school for.
77?
It's a stupid high number. Like all these degrees are like, not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm probably going to ruffle a few feathers here. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what a degree in diversity studies is about. I don't know what that one's about.
Yeah.
18th century French poetry. You got a bachelor's degree in that. Cool. I'm not sure how that makes money. And I don't want to sound like the pure capitalist, but I am an unapologetic, compassionate capitalist. So if you contrast that to what we do, hey, you can get out there and hustle and work hard, and there's no reason why. In fact, I was just writing, I just bought a new home, so I'm doing my loan application, and a lot of underwriters cannot understand how self-employed people make income. Because think about most of the world, right? Every 2 weeks, a little paycheck. Every 2 weeks, a little paycheck. And it's exactly the same, has the same number of little exemptions, and gross and net, and easy peasy. Now, I spent 20 years the CEO of a mortgage banking company. So I've done a few loans, thousands of them.
Wow.
And so I'm literally writing a letter right now to the underwriter who's looking at my 24 months of my bank statements, and I'm sure her head is spinning. Her eyeballs are just spinning around her head like, how the hell is this guy making this much money? And she's concerned because, well, how did you make $240,000 in 1 month? And then a couple months later, you made 150, but you average about 60 grand a month. How is that possible? I said, well, I closed a couple of big annuities. I had to stop writing the letter because you and I are doing this podcast.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if you just stay at it and you stay committed over time, pretty soon, what is hard today becomes easy. And then pretty soon you can teach it to someone else, which takes you from the production side to the mentoring and building side. And ladies and gentlemen, that's where the big money's at, helping other people. I just ran that report. In 6.5 years, I've brought in about 530 clients, but my agency's brought in 23,000 clients.
Wow. That's
how come I get paid 4, 5, 6, sometimes 10 times a day, every banking day. And the underwriter underwriting my loan is like, how is this possible?
Must be illegal.
I swear to God, I think she thinks that. Yet I have an 800 credit score. I am completely debt free, other than this mortgage I'm taking on a new home, which I'll pay that bad boy off in a few years because I'm not. Have you seen what interest rates are right now?
Yeah, it's stupid. It'll double the payment. It's insane.
Yeah, It's no fun, but here's the beauty. If you're smart and you're wise and you live below your means, it's simple. Spend less than you make. For the love of God, spend less than you make. Well, I want a new car. Well, maybe you should empower yourself with a goal that's a stretch that makes you work and grow and get better. And only after you hit your goal, reward yourself with a new car. Don't buy it too soon. I mean,
yeah, that's a good point. I like you said that because it's hard for me to explain that. But like, I made 6 figures when I was 20. I didn't spend $100,000 on a car till I was 32. You know, and I've been making, you know, millions for years, right? But I wasn't the guy that's like, I'm gonna go get a Lambo and be flashy and show off. You know, do we spend less than we make? Yes. Do I spend too much from time to time? Totally. Sure. But it's really good, simple advice is like, you know, you want to be successful. Also, you want to be successful like Darin over time and build something successful versus looking successful in the short term, you know, and having one good month does not mean you're Darin Stubbs, you know, like
you got to practice the principle of delayed gratification.
Yeah.
And most people don't want to do it. Everyone wants to think they live like, you know, one of those stupid reality, which for the record, I have never watched a reality TV show. Not one episode, not 5 minutes of it, never watched it, never will.
Other than the insurance one. Other than,
hey, Ultimate Agent Tour, I'm down for that. You know, well, hey, I'm participating, you know. But everyone thinks they should be the Kardashians. Well, you can be, you know, I mean, if you work hard enough, long enough. But what if you practice the principle of delayed gratification? Let me explain what that means. You see, by rewarding yourself too soon, what'd you rob yourself of? Victory. You robbed yourself of consistency. You robbed yourself of the ability to say, I can set a goal, I can stay focused, I can surrender to my calendar, I can do the daily activities, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, and sometimes, yes, year in and year out, to finally achieve my goal and then reward yourself. Well, that's what power is. Everybody thinks money is power, Cody. You know what power is? Choice. Because when you're broke, can you still choose? Sure can. So who's really got the power? Anyone who decides.
That's good.
The great thing about the insurance business is usually a business model, a business plan. And I hate when people say, well, I don't want to start at the bottom. Strike that word from your vocabulary. How about the beginning? What if you began at the beginning? Because that was me 4 years and 8 months ago with Symmetry. I began at the beginning, 80% contract, 0 agents, 0 clients, 0 team members, not just Darin. But they said, well, Darin, if you do this and this and this, you can give yourself a 5% pay raise every couple of months. And if you go and recruit and train people, you can move up. Well, it took me 4.5 years, hit the very top contract, tens of thousands of clients, hundreds and hundreds of agents. Now we blink in a week what used to kill me to do in a month. I can't wait to be like Edward. Blink in a day what I do in a month. He's just been around longer. He's helped more people. But if you have people like that mentoring and coaching you, where could you be if you were willing to check your ego, be disciplined, surrender to the process, and then just keep your head down and focus?
Yeah.
You know, kind of like going to college. Hey, professor, I ain't showing up today. Well, hey, you got an F in the class. Good luck trying to graduate.
Yeah, for real. So if they're listening, like, you know what, I do need a mentor. I do need help. How can they reach you? Where should we send them? What should we do?
Well, you know, I've got a couple landing pages. I like to start with there for people brand new to the insurance industry. You know, I have a little landing page, workinsurancenow.com. Just put your name, your number, your email, who referred you. I found you on Cody's podcast, into the website. It's maybe 25 minutes of videos, kind of an overview. It's not going to tell you everything. It's not designed to tell you everything. Yeah. It's designed to give you a basic rundown of who we are, what we do. Because, you know, I don't know, Cody, I don't recruit everyone. I'm only looking for the right people. And to me, the right people are people that are hungry, humble, coachable, teachable, trainable. And then here's the 2 hard ones. Willing to surrender the process. And for the love of Jesus, follow some instructions in the beginning. You know, just follow some instructions.
Yeah. I love it.
Most people, gimme, now. Well, doesn't work that way in real life. Got to put some time in, put some work in, put some effort in.
Yeah.
Which means there's growth and pain. But if you want to get to a 6-figure income or a 7-figure income, well, you better be planning on strapping in the chair and doing the work for a few years. Oh my gosh, a few years. Wow. Well, if you're watching this podcast or you're watching the replay, think in your mind real quick, clear your mind. Where were you 5 years ago? What was your biggest problem? I'll bet money's somewhere in there. What were you doing? Then now you have to stop and think, well, what was it that kept me up at night, 5 years ago? I don't remember what it was. So where could you be if you just did the work? Where could you be if you came to 8% Nation and got training from some of the top people in the entire industry? Well, I'll catch the one next year. No, you won't, because you won't even be in the industry next year. It's like saying, well, I'm not going to eat for a year. Well, you're going to starve to death and die.
True.
Getting coaching from Cody and the team that he assembles, yeah, that would probably be a good thing to further your career.
Thanks, man. Boom. I love it. Darin, I always enjoy hanging out with you. Always appreciate having you on the podcast, on the channel. You do such a phenomenal job. I appreciate the kind words as well. Workinsurancenow.com to talk and hang out more with Darin. Dude, I appreciate you being on, and thank you for being back on the podcast.
Thank you, brother.
Boom. Thank you, Darin Stubbs. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you being on Power Players Podcast. Check this out. Reach out to Darin. Let him know what you think. Add him on social. Do all the things, and we'll see you on the next episode. Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there. Welcome back to How to Sell Life Insurance. This is going to be a video, like a recap video, and also some new training that I haven't released before on how to sell more life insurance. I did a video called How to Sell Life Insurance - Amazing. It looks like it was